Hey everybody, this is Professor Eskew. I wanted to take this time to get with you and walk through the syllabus with you. So as you can see, I'm in Blackboard at the course homepage. And if you come over here and come down to syllabus and click on this link, it takes you to the syllabus. And right here is the link to the syllabus. Click it. It brings up a PDF. You can print this if you wish, so it's up to you. This will always be available to you. So here is the syllabus for us for this class. One of the first things I want to point out to you is the course CRN number. That 5-digit number is really important because I teach 7 classes. This class has over 50 in it. So I get emails from probably 50 to 75 students on a daily basis. By you putting this, first of all, putting in the course and then the CRN, which is this 5-digit number, that allows me to go directly to the class. And so when I'm responding to you, I can get to you much quicker. Typically, if students don't put this 5-digit CRN in the subject line of the email, it takes me longer to respond, and I want to get back to you as quickly as possible. Okay, so here's some information, who I am. Here is my email address. Here is my office hours. But please know below that if these office hours don't work for you, that's absolutely fine. If you would simply email me and let me know that you need to meet with me or talk with me, we can either do it through email, but I prefer to do it through a Zoom teleconference so that we can be looking at each other when we're talking things through, but I leave that up to you. So if you do an email and give me some dates and some times when you're available, that's very helpful to me so I can match it up against my schedule as well. Here's a description of the course, our learning outcomes. So these are, once you finish this course, these are the things that you should be able to have mastered. Here's some course content. So this breaks down all the different topics that we're going to discuss in this class. It is quite a few. I will tell you there is a lot of new terminology. So you've had financial accounting and you thought, wow, that's a lot of stuff, a lot of vocabulary. We're going to add a little bit more vocabulary to your list. Don't be concerned. Most of it is in the first 4 chapters and we go over it pretty well. Here is a copy of the textbook that we use. You can buy the textbook in a bundle at Mesa's bookstore. The bundle will come with a soft-bound edition of this textbook as well as your access code for Connect, and that access code is required. However, you do have an option. Later in the announcement, you'll see a video for registering in Connect. When you originally register in Connect, you do not have to have the access code. You can go into Connect and you can register and you can take advantage of a 2-week trial period through Connect. Okay, so let me know if you have any concerns about that. Otherwise, you'll have to buy the access code. You also have an option when you go into Connect to buy the access code there. If you're comfortable with just buying the ebook and the access code, I would encourage you to go through the publisher because it's the price of that package is not going to say is less than what you would have to pay at the bookstore. So you can think about that as well. Here's all of that information. You'll need a calculator because you'll be doing a lot of problems in this class. I don't care what kind of calculator you can have. You can have a very basic calculator. I recommend the TI BA2 Plus though. I know a lot of you folks in Mesa, when you took your math courses, they had you do a programmed calculator that was based on math and science side and not the business. And unfortunately, when you get over to San Diego State, they're going to probably ask you to buy the TI BA2 Plus because that is a financial calculator and it has all of the financial operations on it. I bought mine in 1908. I still have it. The battery still works and it's been over 30 years. It's an awesome, awesome calculator. I think they cost now, when I bought it, it costs like $60. I think they're down to like 18 now. So I would go to Walmart or Amazon and get them, and you can get them relatively inexpensive. So here is the grading points, how they're going to be distributed. You will have 4 discussion boards in this course. Each one of those discussion boards is worth 20 points. You will have video presentations that go through the Connect LMS, Learning Management System. Those are worth 20 points apiece. You have 13 homeworks that are 30 points apiece, and you have 7 quizzes. Each of those are worth 50 points apiece. So there's available points of 1,080 points. Here is the grade scale and the point range. Because the point range are so wide, there's a 10 basis point spread, I do not round my grades. So if you get an 89.99, you're going to get a B, okay? So just be mindful of that as you're doing it. I would encourage you to read the chapters in the book. What happens is students who tend not to do that do not perform as well because you're not getting the terminology, you're not getting the understanding that you need. Discussion boards are broken into 2 parts. What I mean by 2 parts is you will have a first due date. That first due date is when I expect you to have your initial post posted on the discussion board. There'll be a second due date that is about a week later that gives you time after that initial due date to come in and post 3 responses to your classmates. There is rubrics for every single, a discussion board. I would encourage you to pull them up, look at them, see what is expected in those responses. I don't want you to think that you can go in and do a 1 or 2 line response and that you're going to get the full credit, because that won't happen. Okay? Homework. All 13 chapters have homework. And they are due. I have set these up so that you can do unlimited attempts. And the reason I do that is because I would suggest during the week, especially the weeks you have 2 chapters to do, you go in, you read some of the material, you get it down, you go to the homework and do the homework that's related to what you just read and understood. That way you can continuously work through the homework. You don't have to feel like you sit down and do the entire homework in one setting, because that would be totally exhausting, okay? I get it. So that's why I set that up that way. Your quizzes are true and false and multiple choice, but they do have problems in those. Your quizzes are timed, and you only get 1 opportunity to take the quiz. Net tutor. So you are more than invite you to go to our LRC. We have live tutors specifically for this course on the 4th floor of the library or the Learning Resource Center. Please take advantage of that. I also have a link out on the menu that says Net Tutor. You can click on that. That is a free service, and it would also give you access to online tutoring if you feel you need it. And your third I would encourage you to get to know each other, leverage those relationships for help so you can help each other, and then you can also email me as well. So your student responsibilities, I've already told you about the email. Please put your 5-digit code in there. Attendance, so I have to check per the district requirements. You have to complete assignments within the first 2 weeks or you're considered a no-show and I will drop you from the class. So I just wanted to make you aware of that so that you get in and you make sure that you complete some of your assignments. Your assignments are going to be due starting the first week as well, so there really shouldn't be any issue, but in case, make sure that you go in there, log in, and get that. If you're not able to purchase the access code or the book at this point, still go in and get your 2-week trial. And then if you're having difficulty after that, email me and let me know, okay? Here's some other information. Cheating and plagiarism. You will be doing some discussion boards, so please be mindful that you're not copying each other's responses. In most cases, you can't anyway. They don't make sense to do that. So also, if you do some research on some information, which you'll probably do for one of the discussion boards, just make sure you cite your source. And I prefer that you cite it in using the APA format. Here's information about the late policies. I don't accept late policies except for those assignments that have a late grace period where it's 25% penalty reduced each day you miss. And you'll see that in the assignments in Connect. I've told you that I'm really available to you, so that is true. Here are some important dates that you'll want to keep in mind. So if you are thinking about adding or dropping, be mindful if you're going to drop by a certain date, you will get a W on your transcript. A W counts as an attempt for the class, so please be mindful of that. I don't believe that this class is pass, no pass. I think you have to get a letter grade in this, so that date really is not relevant. And then the last day to withdraw if you decide that you need to do that. Here's information for Blackboard help. Here is conduct. Since we're online, probably the most important thing for you to understand is etiquette. So make sure that when you're on Blackboard and you're doing your discussion boards that you show respect towards each other and civility towards each other in your responses. If for any reason you need assistance or help, please make sure that you contact our DSPS office and so that they can give you accommodations and they will give you actually a certification letter. I need a copy of that certification letter before I can extend those accommodations to you. I talked to you about the Academic Skills Center, which is our tutoring. If you are a veteran, we also have a Veteran Resource Center, VRC, that is available on campus. Here's the link, and so you can get engaged there. Transfer Center, if you're really close to transfer, here's the information there. Here's the link, and you can click on that and get that information. Finally, if you are struggling with food insecurities or housing insecurities, please contact the Dean of Student Services for support. If you don't know how to contact this individual, let me know and we will make sure that we get you connected. Okay? Here are some important links that you may use either now or later in your career. And finally, this last page is your tentative class schedule. So this tells you every week what you should be reading, what you should be completing, what you should be starting, when quizzes are due, and use this as a guide. It is tentative, so if there is some reason we would need to change a class, I exercise the liberty of doing that, but generally in this type of class, I don't have those problems. So make sure that you're aware that the last week, your due date is not a Sunday, it's a Saturday, May 26th, so be aware of that. Other than that, that's it. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.